Okay, grade 8, we're now going to be doing monomials, binomials, trinomials, and polynomials. Right, and what do these all mean? What does those fancy looking words mean? Or what do they mean? So what is a polynomial? Right, a poly means many. So this part of the word, poly, means many. Nomial means terms. So many terms. What is a term? Remember, a term is anything that is separated by a plus or a minus. So let's look at this example here. 3x squared plus 7x plus 6, right? This is in fact a trinomial. Why is this a trinomial? Because there are three terms here. They are separated by a plus sign. It is a polynomial because there are many terms, and the type of polynomial is specifically a trinomial. You could call it a quadnomial if there was a fourth term. For example, plus z, right? Binomial just means two terms, and monomial means just one term. We're going to get into that soon. Now this is in the next couple of videos, but I'm just going to quickly show you. What is a constant? A constant is a number without a variable like 6. What is a variable? Remember, this z has a line through it. A variable is a number that varies. It can change. We could make y anything we wanted. Y and x are variables. What is an exponent? X squared is an exponent. Right, now it's very important for polynomials that there can be an x to the power in it. For example, there are only non-negative integers as exponents. Non-negative starts at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to infinity. For example, x to the power of 1 is a polynomial. Why? Because it has an integer, it has an exponent that is not negative. So yes, this is a polynomial. What about x to the power of 0? It is still a polynomial because it's got a 0, it's not negative. What is x to the power of 0? Remember, anything to the power of 0 is 1. So this is also a constant. So it shows that a constant by itself, like what about 6x 0, that would be the same as 6 times 1, which would be 6. And these are also monomials because they only have one term. There are no plus or minuses. Right, what about x to the power of negative 6, right? It can only be non-negative integers. This is a negative integer. Negative 6 is a negative integer. For this reason, it can't be a polynomial. This is not a polynomial. And remember that x to the negative 6 is the same as x over 6. So we can quite easily see that you can never have a variable at the bottom of, or divided by a variable. So for here, 1 over x, this is the same as x to the power of negative 1. There is a negative integer. It can't be a polynomial. What about 1 over x to the negative 1? Remember that x over negative 1 is same as 1 over x. I mean x over to the power of 1. So this is, in fact, a polynomial. So polynomials can never be, or never have division by a variable. Remember, a term is separated by a plus or a minus. Don't forget that. That's important about terms. So how many terms are in the following? 3x squared plus 7y plus 6. There are 3 terms here. There's 3 pluses. This means it is a trinomial. So there's 3 terms. How many are here? Quite easily, there's 1 plus. That means they're separating 2 terms. It's a binomial. There are 2 terms there. X squared times 7y plus 6. Be careful, I've written this out badly. That's why we practice our writing conventions. This is 3x squared times 7x, which could be the same as 3 times 7 is 21. X squared y plus 6. That is the same. And that, as you can see, is just 2 terms. It's a binomial again. So there's 2 terms here. So are the following polynomial or not? 3x squared plus 7y, 26 plus 6. Yes, that's positive integer, and remember this could be an x to the power of 0, positive integer. Yes, it is a polynomial. What about 1 over x to the power of 5? Okay, remember that is equal to x to the power of negative 5, which means no, it is not a polynomial. What about x to the power of negative 4 times y? Even though that's y to the power of 1, there's still a non-positive integer there, so it is not a polynomial. Remember, an integer is a whole number, so if we had a number here that was x to the power of a half, that is also not an integer, and that would not work. What about x over y squared? Now remember, that is x times y to the negative 2. Again, not a positive integer, so not a polynomial. What about x over y negative 2? That's x, y squared. Ooh, that right there is a positive integer, and that is a polynomial. What about 1 over 1 plus x? How are we going to do this? Now this, I'm going to tell you right now, is not a polynomial, but we're going to get into this stuff in future years, because you'll find that you need something else here to work with that. Okay, one term, that is a monomial. It has one term. There's x to the power of 3x squared, 3 to the root 6, this is 1 squared, but remember that is a number, so 6 to the half is a number, so even though it's not a variable squared, remember it wouldn't work if it was x, that would not be a polynomial, but because it's a number that's still a constant, there's an x to the power of 0 here, don't forget that, so there's a 3 root 6 times x, so that's fine. Binomial is two terms, a very important thing that you're going to use in the future. 3x squared minus 7, these are two separate terms. 3 root 6 plus 14x, again there's two separate terms. And 3 root 6 minus x, two separate terms. Then we look at trinomials with 3 terms, and then we can see there's 3 terms there. These are not like terms, so it's 3 separate terms. Then we have a constant, then we have an x variable and a y variable, 3 separate terms. Here again we have a constant x, y, 3 terms. Now you're going to learn the most important thing about polynomials in the next video, and that is the like and unlike terms. And that's going to show you that something that looks like 3 variables might in fact be 2. Don't forget, I'm not saying that this whole thing is equal, but just that part is equal to 7 times 1. So remember that 7 by itself has a 7x0. I don't know if you saw what happened there, but there was essentially a 7, and that is the same as x to the power of 0, and that is the same, just that part, as 7 times 1. Okay. Now, what type of polynomial are the following? 7 minus x times 3. Ooh, be careful. We've got to rewrite that as 7 minus 3xy. So that is a binomial because there's 2 terms. 7 minus 3xy, that's really easy. We can see that that is very close to that, if not the same, just different order. And again, that is a binomial. 7x3y, ooh, this we could simplify even further. We could make that 21xy because we went 3 times 7. Oops, 21. The xy is very untidy here. That's an x and a y. And that is a monomial because there's only one term. Well done, grade 8. We've finished monomials, binomials, trinomials. It's a very good start to what is coming next. Remember, this video here is also very, very important. Go straight to it if you need.